1. Now King Solomon loved many foreign women, along with the daughter of Pharaoh. Who did he love? Moabite, Ammonite, Edomite, Sidonian, and Hittite women, from the nations concerning which the Lord had said to the sons of Israel, "You shall not associate with them, nor shall they associate with you, for they will surely turn your heart away after their gods." But Solomon held fast to these in love. He had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned his heart away. For when Solomon was old, his wives turned his heart away after other gods, and his heart was not wholly devoted to the Lord his God, as the heart of David, his father, had been. What happened to Solomon? He had had a great beginning, but he allowed the love of other gods to come between him and his God. Then in his book Ecclesiastes, Solomon described how he started to pursue the pleasures of this world. We know there are a lot of pleasures. I think the love of these pleasures took over his heart and pushed God out of it. So Solomon put himself in charge. Listen to how he talks about himself. You can turn to it, but I'll read it to you anyway. In Ecclesiastes 2. And if you're looking it up yourself, it's in verses 3 through 9. It's after Proverbs. I enlarged my works. I built houses for myself. I planted vineyards for myself. I made gardens and parks for who? Myself. I planted in them all kinds of fruit trees. I made ponds of water for myself, from which to irrigate a forest of growing trees. I bought male and female slaves, and I had home-born slaves. Also, I possessed flocks and herds larger than all who preceded me in Jerusalem. Also, I collected for myself silver and gold and the treasure of kings and provinces. I provided myself male and female singers, and the pleasures of men, many concubines. Then I became great and increased more than all who preceded me in Jerusalem. Listen to this. All that my eyes desired, I did not refuse them. This is Solomon, the one who just made that prayer. I did not withhold my heart from any pleasure, for my heart was pleased because of all my labor, and this was my reward for all my labor. It can happen to us too. You may catch yourself using that personal pronoun. I, 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 all the time, in everything you think or say. Maybe you'll hear yourself saying, I will do this myself. Or, I can do this myself. Instead of asking the Lord, please help me, Lord. Or you may tell yourself, I want this. Instead of asking the Lord, Lord, is this what you want me to have? You may start taking for granted everything you own and think, oh, this is mine, instead of thanking God for everything that He has given you. You are starting to take charge of your own life instead of handing the controls over to God. If this is happening to you, watch out. It can happen over time. It happens little by little. It happens slowly, subtly, like a slithering snake. Little things in our life can gnaw away at our love for God. They weasel their way into your heart and push out your love for God. I don't think that Solomon knew what was happening to himself. Nobody does at first. Would you like me to tell you how you can know that you are losing your love for God? Well, I really don't know. It's different from person to person, but I can give you some examples of how it may start. Most of us here are up in our age. Are you getting kind of weary of serving the Lord? If you are, you might say something like this: Lord, I'm finished doing my part for you. Let the younger ones take over. Are you telling God that you decided not to serve Him anymore? Who are you to tell God that now you have decided to stop everything, lay down, and die? Here are some more examples of losing your love for God. You say to yourself, the Bible is boring. Or, I always fall asleep when I try to read the Bible. Or, I don't have time to read the Bible today. The Bible is too hard to understand. Or, I don't know how to pray. Or, I can't stay awake when I pray. Or, God never answers my prayers.